In this session, we will discuss about white matter. White matter means axons of cells which are present in the grey matter. Actually, in the case of cerebrum, grey matter present at the periphery, what we are calling cortex. Of course, some masses of grey matter present in the white matter also. Those masses of grey matter what we call basal ganglia, that we will discuss in the further sessions. In this session, we will discuss about white matter. White matter means bundles of nerve fibers along with its associated neuroglial cells. Right? Now, we will see what are the different types of white matter. That means, what are the different bundles of white matter present in the cerebrum. Right? First, for that, I am taking one superolateral surface diagram and another medial surface diagram. So, if I take superolateral surface, this is superolateral surface, right, and this is medial surface. This is medial surface. Of course, when you are drawing medial surface, you know already you have to see the corpus callosum, right? So here this is corpus callosum. You know the different parts of the corpus callosum. Anyway, we will discuss in detail in the white matter. So this is corpus callosum, right? Then here fornix, is it? So this is superolateral surface and that is medial surface. Now there will be different types of fibers. Actually, if you observe two cerebral hemispheres, right, some type of fibers will be there. Those fibers, they connect within the one cerebral hemisphere, they connect different areas. That means they are intrahemispherical. They are intrahemispheric. Intrahemispheric means within the same cerebral hemisphere only, they connect one area to another area. In this, depends upon the length of those fibers, further divides into short and long. Right? If the fibers present within the cerebral hemisphere, that means if they are connecting the areas of same cerebral hemisphere, those fibers what we are calling association fibers. What are these? Association fibers. So, when you take the classification, this is white matter. White matter, we are classifying the white matter into mainly three types. First type is association fibers. Association fibers. Second one is commissural fibers. And third one is projection fibers. Now we are discussing about association fibers. Association fibers connects one area of cerebral hemisphere to another area of same cerebral hemisphere. They will not go away from the cerebral hemisphere. Those fibers what we are calling intrahemispheric. So these are association fibers. So according to their length, further classified into short association fibers and long association fibers. Right? If you take short association fibers first, these fibers connects adjacent gyri. So if I draw some gyri here, just imagine this is one gyrus and this is another gyrus. These are the different gyrus, is it? separated by sulcus. These are sulcus and these are elevations are gyrus. Short association fibers connects adjacent gyrus. See here, this gyrus to this gyrus, adjacent gyrus. They connect adjacent gyrus. These gyrus what we call short association fibers. They are like arch. So these fibers we can also call as arcuate fasciculus. Arcuate fasciculus. Clear? That is about short association fibers. Then long association fibers. In name itself it indicates they are long. Length of those fibers are more. Clear? So in that further classified into cingulum, then superior longitudinal fibers, inferior longitudinal fibers, then fronto-occipital fibers, right? And along with that one more thing is there, that is uncinate fasciculus. Clear? So these are the different white fibers in the association fiber. Those are classified under long association fibers because they are lengthy. Clear? Now we will discuss one by one. First, if you take cingulum, I already told you long association fibers are lengthy fibers. They negotiate or they connect distant gyrus. If you observe short association fibers, they are connecting the adjacent gyrus. Long association fibers, they connect distant gyrus, right? So first if you take cingulum, here what is this? Rostrum. This rostrum in the lower part, it connected with what is this septum? What is this lamina? This lamina what we call laminar terminalis. We discussed in the last sessions. In front of the laminar terminalis there will be gyrus will be there. What is that gyrus? Paraterminal gyrus, right? Some fibers, some long association fibers starts from the paraterminal gyrus, winds around the corpus callosum, within the one gyrus is there. What is this gyrus? Cingulate gyrus. Actually, if you see, this is cingulate sulcus. Below the cingulate sulcus, what is there? Cingulate gyrus, right? So within the cingulate gyrus, some fibers. Actually, if you want to see these white fibers in the dissection theatre, just you have to scratch. If you remove the grey matter which is present in these gyrus, deep to that you can find these white fibers, right? So if you remove the grey matter of this cingulate gyrus, deep to that you can find the white matter, right? So these fibers, they arising from the or they are starting from the paraterminal gyrus and they winds around corpus callosum, then they enters into parahippocampal gyrus. Of course, here there will be parahippocampal gyrus. So it enters into parahippocampal gyrus and they extends up to the uncus. Is it? So these fibers are like girding. These fibers are like girding. They are encircling, right? So that's what these fibers what we are calling cingulum. We can also call as limbic association fibers. Limbic association fibers. These fibers we can also call as limbic association fibers. What are these? Limbic association fibers, right? So this is one type of long association fibers, cingulum, present in the cingulate gyrus and in the parahippocampal gyrus, and it is like a girdle, right? So or circle, that's what these fibers what we are calling cingulum. Clear? Then some fibers connecting frontal lobe to the occipital lobe, right? Those fibers present longitudinally and they are present above. So superior longitudinal fibers, superior longitudinal fibers. So these fibers extending from frontal lobe to occipital lobe, and they may extend into temporal lobe also, right? So these fibers what you are calling superior longitudinal fibers, superior longitudinal fibers, right? These are superior longitudinal fibers. Actually, what is the main function of superior longitudinal fibers or vesicles? They connect frontal eye field with occipital eye field. Frontal eye field is area number 8. Occipital eye field is area number 18 and 19. Right? Those areas are connected by superior longitudinal vesicles. Of course, some of the fibers they are connected to temporal lobe also. Clear? So that is about superior longitudinal vesicles. Then inferior longitudinal vesicles. Inferior longitudinal vesicles connects temporal lobe with occipital lobe. They connect temporal lobe with occipital lobe. So fibers will be like this. These are the fibers. They are connecting the temporal lobe with occipital lobe, right? Inferior longitudinal vesicles. Then fronto-occipital vesicles. Fronto-occipital vesicles. Actually, these fibers also connecting the frontal lobe to occipital lobe. These fibers also connecting frontal lobe to occipital lobe. But what is the difference? Difference is these fibers you can observe in the lateral side, okay, and these fronto-occipital fibers present in the medial side, right, and below. That's what these fibers I am drawing medial side. Just imagine these fibers present at the lateral side, and whatever the fibers now I am going to draw, these are present in the medial side, right? So here these are the fibers. These fibers also connects frontal lobe with occipital lobe, and some of the fibers they connect to temporal lobe also, right? So these fibers what we are calling fronto-occipital vesiculus. Fronto-occipital vesiculus. Then last one is this we have completed. What is this? Uncinate vesiculus. Uncinate vesiculus. These uncinate vesiculus fibers connects, what is the surface? Orbital surface, orbital gyrus, right? They connects orbital gyrus and one area which is present here in the pars triangularis and pars opercularis. What is that area? You know already, that is Broca's area, no? Broca's area. So some fibers they connect Broca's area and orbital gyrus with temporal lobe. Those fibers what we call, what are these fibers? Uncinate vesiculus, and they arch around the stem of lateral sulcus. They arch around the stem of lateral sulcus. Actually this is lateral sulcus, no? They arches around the stem of lateral sulcus, right? Actually almost all these fibers, when they are starting and ending, they are fan wise. In the middle part they are narrow, is it? See here, they are fan wise in the origin part and terminal part also, but in the middle part they are narrow, right? See this, these are the associated fibers. I hope you understood. This is uncinate vesicles. It connects orbital gyrus and Broca's area with temporal lobe. If you want to know the function of it, it conveys auditory and visual impulses to the Broca's area. For what? For expression of spoken speech, right? For that, these fibers are helpful. So these fibers, what we are calling uncinate vesicles. Clear? So that's it about association fibers. Association fibers are intrahemispherical. They connect one area of same cerebral hemisphere to another area of same cerebral hemisphere, right? And they are short and long. Short means they connect adjacent gyrus. Long means they connect distant gyrus. In that, different types are there. Cingulum, it is present in the cingulate gyrus and parahippocampal gyrus. Superior longitudinal vesicles, they connect frontal lobe to occipital lobe and also temporal lobe. Importance is they connect frontal eye field to occipital eye field. Inferior longitudinal vesicles connects temporal lobe to occipital lobe. Fronto-occipital vesicles connects frontal lobe to occipital lobe, but they are present below and they are present in between the corpus callosum and caudate nucleus. Okay, if I tell this word you will confuse, that's what I didn't tell. Caudate nucleus you will study in the basal ganglia, right? So that's what, just at this session remember that they connect frontal lobe to occipital lobe and some fibers they connected to temporal lobe also. Clear? Then uncinate vesicles, they connect orbital gyrus and Broca's area with temporal lobe, right? These fibers conveys the auditory and visual images to the Broca's area for expression of speech. Clear? So that is about association fibers. Then commissural fibers. Commissural fibers, they connects one cerebral hemisphere to another cerebral hemisphere. Now these fibers are interhemispheric. That means imagine this is one cerebral hemisphere and this is another cerebral hemisphere. These are connected by some bundle of fibers. These bundle of fibers what we are calling commissural fibers. What are these? Commissural fibers, right? So these are commissural fibers. Clear? In these commissural fibers, again classification is there. That classification we will see now. First one is anterior commissure, posterior commissure, habenular commissure, hippocampal commissure, and important one is corpus callosum, right? So first we will see what is anterior commissure. I already told you these are the fibers, they connect one cerebral hemisphere to another cerebral hemisphere. Most of these fibers they connect identical areas. That means the one area which will be present within this cerebral hemisphere, same area which will be present in the opposite cerebral hemisphere also, right? These areas, these identical areas connected by commissural fibers. But some of the commissural fibers they connect non-identical areas also, but mostly they connect identical areas of one cerebral hemisphere to another cerebral hemisphere, right? According to their connection of identical and non-identical areas, they are further divides into, that means this commissural fibers further divides into two types. Those are homotopical. Topical means area. Homotopical, that means they connect identical areas. Heterotopical. Heterotopical, they connect non-identical areas, right? Then first we will discuss about anterior commissure. Anterior commissure. Actually, what is this? Laminar terminalis. Within the substance of lamina terminalis, within the substance of lamina terminalis, within the substance of lamina terminalis, you can find one commissure. This commissure, what we are calling anterior commissure. Anterior commissure. It connects temporal lobes. In the lower part, there will be temporal lobes will be there. No, these temporal lobes are connected by anterior commissure. If you want to go further details, these anterior commissural fibers, this is a bundle of fibers. These bundle of fibers connects antero-inferior part of temporal lobe. Antero-inferior part of temporal lobe. At this session, just you remember this one, that is sufficient. Actually, if you go further details, what will be there within that anterior commissural fibers, there will be two types of fibers are there. One type of fibers, they connect allocortex, that means phylogenetically old cortex, and another fibers they connect neocortex, that means phylogenetically new cortex. That means posterior fibers are neocortex fibers, anterior fibers are allocortex fibers. Posterior fibers connects anterior and inferior part of temporal lobe, and these anterior fibers connects allocortex. Allocortex means very simple, anterior perforated substance, olfactory area, and prepiriform cortex and rhinal cortex. All these words must be new for you peoples. I will explain in the limbic system, right? So we have completed anterior commissure. Anterior commissure, which is present in the substance of lamina terminalis and which connects the anterior-inferior part of temporal lobe. At this session, you remember that. That's sufficient. Next, posterior commissure. To show the posterior commissure, I need to expand this diagram. That's what I am removing this part. What is this part? Cingulum. I am removing cingulum here. Right? So this is fornix. Right? Below the fornix, you can find third ventricle. Is it? So this is third ventricle. Right? The posterior wall of third ventricle, you can observe one structure like this. What is this? Pineal gland. Pineal gland. Right? Of course, this pineal gland having stalk. So this is superior lamina of stalk of pineal gland, and this is inferior lamina of stalk of pineal gland. Is it? So superior lamina of pineal gland contains a bundle of commissural fibers. This bundle of commissural fibers, what we are calling habenular commissure. And in the inferior lamina of pineal gland, we can find posterior commissure. Clear? Of course, we have to extend this diagram down. optic chiasma. Then this is pituitary gland. This is mammillary body here. This is aqueduct of Sylvius. This is cerebellum. This is pons, and this is medulla oblongata. This is fourth ventricle. This will be continuous as a spinal cord. Is it? So, habenular commissure connects two habenular nuclei. That means right habenular nuclei and left habenular nuclei. And posterior commissure connects. What is this part? Superior colliculus. Here there will be pretectal nucleus also will be there in this region, that we will tell you. This pretectal nucleus connected by posterior commissure. These two superior colliculus connected by posterior commissure, and there will be pre-striate nucleus also is there. The pre-striate nucleus also connected by posterior commissure. So that is about posterior commissure. So remember three nucleus, means three structures. One is pretectal nucleus, another is pre-striate nucleus, and superior colliculus. These structures are connected by posterior commissure. Habenular nucleus connected by habenular commissure. Then hippocampal commissure. Hippocampal commissure connects two crura of hippocampus. Actually, there will be two crura will be present. Just imagine this is one crura and this is another crura of, if you see from above, hippocampus if you see from above, anteriorly these are columns, posteriorly they are crura. In the middle part, body. These parts are connected by some commissural fibers. These commissural fibers what we are calling hippocampal commissure. Right? Detailed description I will tell you in the hippocampus. Don't worry at this session. Clear? That's it about hippocampal commissure. Then corpus callosum. This thing I am not going to discuss in this session. We will discuss in the next session because it takes at least more than half an hour to explain in detail. That's what I am not discussing about corpus callosum. Right? Then we will discuss about projection fibers. These projection fibers connects cortex to subcortical grey matter. Subcortical grey matter means what? Subcortical grey matter means thalamus, basal ganglia, nuclei which are present in the brainstem and spinal cord. These areas connected by some fibers. Those fibers what we are calling projection fibers. Projection fibers. Very simple. They connect cortex to subcortical grey matter. Right? Actually, these fibers, according to their direction, we are dividing into two types: corticofugal, corticopetal. Corticofugal means the fibers which are going away from the cortex. See, this is cortex. If the fibers going away from the cortex, those fibers what we are calling corticofugal, like centrifugal. Right? Some fibers going towards the cortex, those fibers what we are calling corticopetal, like centripetal. Right? So those fibers here yes. So these are the fibers, they connects cortex to subcortical grey matter. Right? Actually, these fibers are axons of pyramidal cells, right? So these fibers, they comes downward like this, right? If you want to extend down, you have to extend this diagram also. So here midbrain, superior colliculus, inferior colliculus, and here is cerebellum, here pons, then medulla oblongata, this is spinal cord, is it? So if you want to extend these fibers down, these fibers comes downwards like this. These are projection fibers. See, they are connecting with cortex and subcortical grey matter. So these fibers, what we are calling projection fibers, right? Here I wanted to highlight one thing here. See, these fibers, what are these fibers? Corona radiata fibers, that means internal capsule fibers. These internal capsule fibers present in between superior longitudinal vesiculus and what is this? Fronto-occipital vesiculus. That means superior longitudinal vesiculus present laterally and fronto-occipital vesiculus present medially. So how should I draw a diagram here? So here I have to draw structure like this, right? So they are present medial side, that's what I am drawing with dotted lines. Clear? That means internal capsule projecting in between superior longitudinal vesiculus laterally, fronto-occipital vesiculus medially. That you have to remember carefully, right? Actually here I wanted to tell what is archaeocortex, what is paleocortex, what is neocortex. Very simple. Archaeocortex means it is phylogenetically very oldest. Archaeology means what? Study about very old things, is it? So archaeo means it is phylogenetically very old cortex. Paleocortex means it is phylogenetically old, but it is in between the archaeo and neo, right? Neocortex means it is very new cortex, if you want to say, especially human cortex. But within the human brain, some part of ancient brain also there, some part of old brain also there, right? If the fibers, projection fibers, if the projection fibers connecting neocortex, those fibers are corona radiata and internal capsule fibers. Corona radiata and internal capsule fibers connects neocortex, right? Then some projection fibers connects phylogenetically old cortex, that means allocortex. For that fibers, examples are fornix and fimbriae. Clear? Then when we are discussing about commissural fibers also, actually this corpus callosum connects neocortex, but some part of anterior commissural fibers and hippocampal commissures, they are connecting the phylogenetically old cortex, that means allocortex, but corpus callosum connects phylogenetically new cortex, that is neocortex. Clear? So that is about different types of projection fibers. In these projection fibers, we are going to study in detail about internal capsule. Internal capsule. This is important question. So we will discuss in detail about internal capsule. Right? With this, we have completed classification of white fibers. Right? After break, we will discuss about corpus callosum.